Hey folks, it's the Blind Guy coming back at you with another good old movie recommendation. And on this episode, we're taking a look at I Walked with a Zombie. And no, that is not the title of a Jill Biden memoir, but it's actually a 1943 movie directed by Jacques Tourneur and starring Tom Conway and Francis D. The movie is about a nurse who leaves Canada to visit St. Bastian, the island, and she's supposed to help a man with his zombified wife as a nurse. The movie is loosely based on Jane Eyre, believe it or not, and a memoir entitled I Walked with a Zombie about the author's experience in Haiti dealing with voodooism and zombieism. So in this movie, the zombies are not the undead. These are the idea of a voodoo type zombie where the person has lost the ability to speak and a lot of their own functionality, often due to drug use in Haiti. But in the movie, it's unclear as to how it exactly happens. And to be honest, this is the third movie I've seen of Jacques Tourneur's, and I'm becoming quite a fan. They have almost a film noir type atmosphere to them. I also reviewed the Leopard Man on my last review, and because it's October, I thought I would do another scary movie. And his other movie that I've seen is Out of the Past, which I also really enjoy, and I'll do an actual, which is a film noir, so I'll do an actual review of that as well at some point. But I thought because this is a horror movie, I would throw it in for the October reviews. And like I said, he's got a very interesting style to him. Very cool atmosphere. This movie does something that I have never actually seen, I don't think, in a movie, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So instead of throwing a bunch of exposition at the audience, especially using characters that probably would already know the things that they're expositing, which is always one of the difficulties, which sometimes movies will get around that by introducing a new character, which has to learn as they go. But this movie, it did it in a way that I thought was very cool when two of the characters, one of them, the new character, are having dinner. There's like a calypso type musical artist singing a folk song that's depicting everything that has happened on the island before the new character has gotten there. And she hears it being sung, and I thought, that is such a cool way of doing that. And it's just a kind of thinking outside the box, like thinking, how can we get this exposition into this movie without it feeling forced? Well, how about we have there be this folk song that the people sing on the island about everything that's happened up to that point? Very cool. That part just blew me away. The other parts of the movie I like. The acting is very solid. The dialogue is very solid. It takes a very anti-racism and slavery view, which is pretty impressive for a 1943 movie, but it doesn't do it in a way that's annoying like Hollywood does today. I think it's very honest and upfront about it, but not in a way that's overly preachy, if that makes sense. Because to be honest, people don't go to watch movies usually to be preached at. They're fine with moral stories and tales being told and lessons being taught, but it's just the way it's done makes a big difference, at least for me, and I assume many of you are probably the same way. So I thought that was very cool. It takes a very dark look at some of those things and very real look at some of those things. Its depiction of voodooism is supposed to be extremely accurate because it was based on memoirs from Haiti. And so some people have actually criticized it for that, but I don't think they realize that this supposedly, I don't never practice voodoo, but supposedly it's very accurate in how it depicts those things and takes a very objective view of it. So for that, I thought it was very cool too. And just the overall atmosphere, it's got these are housing units on this island, so there's not a lot of windows. There's a lot of doors that have, they're not totally closed to the air moving through the buildings, and curtains and people with their robes blowing in the wind and stuff. And it's just got a really cool atmosphere to it, very creepy and just well done. I didn't really have any beefs with this movie. It does do the whole 1943, let's wrap it up very quickly. But that's expected in movies from the 40s, especially. It seems like the 40s are the worst at doing that. They build this tension up. They give you the conflict. Conflict is resolved, especially during the Hays Code. Conflict was always resolved. but then the movie's just kind of like, hey, the end. And it seems like maybe not until the late 50s, even early 60s, movies started just completing themselves in a little bit more satisfying manner, I would say. But overall, very cool movie. I highly recommend it. I'm trying to think if I prefer this over The Leopard Man, and I'm not sure. I would give it on IMDb. I would give it high 7s, 7.8, 7.9. So maybe I would not prefer it over Leopard Man. I think I gave that almost an 8.0. But they're both extremely impressive. If you want to watch the movie, I put the link for it in the description. If you want to support the channel, our Venmo is in the description. You can suggest a review in the Venmo notes if you want to send us a donation of any amount, and we will do it. If you want to send us an email, the email address is in the description. We are growing. I'm going to make that 200 subscriber video for you guys. I've just been a little busy lately, but I wanted to get this one out. I've got a couple more horror movies to do for this month. I hope you guys appreciate them. Turner Classic Movies has had some great stuff on this month, so I highly recommend you guys check that out. Maybe someday we would be able to get a paid sponsorship from Turner Classic Movies. I don't know if they do that, but we're probably one of the few YouTube channels that really uses their material all the time. Just let us know if you want to see anything else. We'll do modern movies, games, music, anything you guys want. I'm going to try to have some guests on once we hit 500 subscribers. That's when doing the live streams becomes really cool. And so that's in the future. It's in the works. I think we'll get there sooner rather than later. I just thank you guys so much for all of your support and everything that you guys do for us. And I just want to say Happy Halloween's coming up, and check this one out. That's 1943's I Walked with a Zombie. I will see you on the next episode of A Blind Guy's View. Laters on the Menjay.
Laters on the Menjay.
Ships on bigger on the waves of skin.